Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got an interesting show for you. Yep, we're going to talk about the computer model that has a score prediction of Florida versus Tennessee. And I also have a rare coaches interview. I have got it set up to where one of the coaches from Florida is going to allow me to interview him. Now, I do not know who the coach is going to be yet until I actually set up the interview and hit the link and put it in the video and all that. But it's supposed to be somebody important, so that'll be towards the end of this video. But let's get into the score prediction. All right, we've got a college football computer model that has predicted the game. This is on Fan Nation by James Parks. And it's talking about, this is obviously an historic SEC rivalry. I couldn't agree more. I've told you folks, this game's huge. It's just, I can't overstate it enough how important this game is.
Biggest thing ever happened in Mayberry. Real big. Big.
It's an absolute must win for Billy Napier. He has to win this game. It's also huge for the Vols because it's Florida. It's at the Swamp, and we have not beaten Florida in the last 9 attempts at the Swamp.
9 times?
9 times.
That's right, 9 times. We have played them at the Swamp in a row and not won. This will be the 10th. We need to break that curse. It's got to go away. So let's get into some specifics here. And it just talks about the Big Oranges coming in at 2-0, and of course, Florida 1-1. Talking about Joe Milton, his numbers look good. 67% passer, 478 yards is our average, total yards per game. And we've been great against the run, only 87 yards, so we're doing fine there. Florida, of course, lost that big game to Utah. They only scored 11 points. There was a lot of problems in that game. But then they whooped up on McNeese State, which, we had our McNeese State. It was Austin Peay, and we didn't do that. And the Gators, after 12 yards against Utah, had 327 yards rushing against McNeese State. And I'm not sure exactly what McNeese State is. Let me check their schedule. All right, they played Tarleton State, and they lost 52-34. Is that a real thing, Tarleton State? And let's see, of course, they lost to Florida, and then they're going to play Alcorn. Okay, well, it's kind of Austin Peay-ish. So anyway, I think I'll go by what they did against Utah. It says Graham Mertz has been a stabilizing force. He's played well. He played well in the Utah game, and I'm sure he played well in the McNeese State. I didn't watch it. And Graham's got a nice arm. That's never been an issue for him. He's just turned the ball over a little too much at Wisconsin and didn't throw for that good a percentage, which is surprising because he appears to be an accurate passer of the ball. Now, Florida's using him in short yardage passes mainly. I haven't seen him throw a whole lot of long stuff, which is probably what he'll do against Tennessee. I do not think they're going to be able to run against us very well. We've stopped the run beautifully last year, and we're better up front than last year. So I think we'll be okay there. They'll probably just dink and dunk a lot, and I think they'll move the ball between the 20s. It's once they get into the red zone where they seem to have problems, and I think they'll have difficulties with us because it gets tight in there, and if you can't run the ball very well, you're going to have to make perfect passes. And, I don't know. That's not easy to do when you got a lot of pressure on you. So I do expect Florida to move the ball. And the score prediction, it says expect a close game in the Swamp with SP Plus model predicting Tennessee has a 68% chance to win outright.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Projected score margin of 8 points and by an estimated score 33-25, likely enough to cover the spread. And then College Football Power Index, that's where they simulate 20,000 times the game being played on a computer.
Where are they?
And they've actually got it much more narrow. They got a 54% to 46% chance of Tennessee winning with a 6.5-point favorite. And then the bets, the spread consensus pick is going with Tennessee is 59% of bettors predict the Vols will cover the 6.5 points. It says Vols are 11-4 against the spread, etc. So anyway, Gators are 1-4 against the spread. Now I can tell you Florida's not confident going in this game. The big positive they've got going for them is the Swamp. The Swamp will help them a lot. We will have false starts. We will probably have 2 or 3 false starts that are caused by the crowd, especially if we don't get off to a hot start. Now, if we start off and get a lead, I think we'll take the crowd out of it because, like I said, they're just not confident. They've lost like 4 out of the last 5, starting with like Vanderbilt and then Florida State, and then they lost the bowl game. and then they lost to Utah. Their only win, I guess, is McNeese State. So given those circumstances, they can't be confident. But we've got one issue right now. Our offense isn't clicking the way it normally does. We only scored 30 points in the last game, and that was against Austin Peay, and we never do that. We're always in the 40s. So we're all a little bit surprised by that. The accuracy from our quarterback and our receivers weren't in sync. So that's a problem, and they'll need to fix that in Florida, because if we do not pass the ball well, we will struggle, because you cannot be one-dimensional against Florida. They'll stack the box, they'll stop the run, and if that's what they do and they force Joe to beat them, he needs to be accurate, because if he is, he'll kill him.
He'll kill you.
But if he's not, they'll stay in the ballgame for sure. So I found those predictions pretty interesting. Looks like I had us at about 67% chance of winning. I've pulled that down to around 55% after seeing the Austin Peay game. I was not impressed with that at all. I know the guys had players-only meeting, and they're taking this game very seriously, but so is Florida. I expect an absolute dogfight. And also I want to let you know I'm going to be on High Top Sports, which is a large Florida YouTube channel, and I've been following them for a while now, and I actually featured them in some of my videos. So look for that tonight at 8:30, and it is going to be live. So it won't be a recorded one that might show up the next day. So be sure to check that out if you want to watch. It should be fun. But anyway, I do have an interview set up with a coach from Florida. Now, they won't tell me who it is, and he's going to be incognito. So I'm going to have to try to figure it out if I can, but if not, they have said that he is a coach of prominence. So that's good. At least I won't be wasting my time. But I'm going to ask him some questions, and we'll see how he responds. Now, Coach, this is a huge game. This is a must-win for your head coach, Billy Napier. He needs this desperately. He's kind of on the hot seat, and he's going to have to try to stop Heupel's offense. I don't know what you're going to be able to do that.
Well, first off, let me thank you for letting me on your show there, Sports Talk Jay. I'm a big fan. Let me explain something to you. First thing we're going to do is stop that run. You're not going to be able to run on us, and we're going to force Joe Milton or your quarterback to beat us with his arm. That's our plan. Now, I know I probably shouldn't tell you that outright, but we're coming after you. We're going to stop the run, and we're going to put pressure on your quarterback.
All right, well, that might work. I'll tell you what about cleaning up the mistakes? You know, y'all had 2 number 3s out there at the same time, and that really hurts you against Utah. Have you solved that problem?
First of all, let me explain something to you. There will be no number 3s on the field for Florida. I have absolutely forbid anyone to wear the number 3 jersey ever again. So don't even worry about that, okay? It's solved.
And lastly, Coach, I know I brought up hot seat a minute ago, but I mean, are you feeling it down there in Florida? Is your head coach feeling that pressure of being on the hot seat like he is?
Hot seat? Hot seat? I'm so sick and tired of hearing hot seat from you, Sports Talk Jay. What is that? J stands for jerk. Let me explain something to you. Our head coach, Billy Napier, one of the best coaches in the world, is not on the hot seat. And I'm going to also tell you this. If they were to fire Billy Napier, they would owe me $32 million. So you think I'm on the hot seat? I don't think so. They're on the hot seat. Next time you want me on the show, you'd better start showing a little bit of respect, buddy.
All right, Coach. Sorry about that. I know I get it like that sometimes. I get a little bit cheeky, I guess you'd say. But I do appreciate you coming on the show, and good luck to you. You're going to lose, but good luck to you. All right, folks, just wanted to show that little computer model score prediction and the coach's interview. And I do want to thank the University of Florida for giving me access to one of their coaches. I'm not 100% sure who that was, but I've got a sneaking suspicion that it might have been one of the big dogs, if you know what I mean. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's me know to continue to cover the Vols, the Gators, and all our SEC opponents. If you've not subscribed, it's on your right, my left. Just hit that little button. I would appreciate it. Cost you nothing. Not a penny, not a dime, not a farthing. Anyway, you know what I mean. And right here's most recent video. Be sure to check that one out that YouTube thinks you will enjoy. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.